Hey there.
Morning.
Hi, hello everyone.
Oh,
Hey, thank you for working with me on the daylight savings. So we have another lady who's supposed to join us from Germany, and I just emailed her and I was like, I'm not sure if you guys do daylight savings, and haven't heard back. So maybe she'll come in a little bit later. We will see. But great.
Yeah,
So,
thank you, Chelsea, for sending me a message because definitely I plan to come by 5 my
yeah.
time, and yeah, we're gonna change time only in 2 weeks' time.
Oh, huh. Okay, so you guys do it. It's just later.
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
yeah, we keep moving it up in the US. I don't know why. I mean, it's nice. I'm not questioning it because I love when it's light later, but we keep moving it in the US.
I'm not a fan.
No?
Nope.
And
I
Europe,
don't
we
like
keep
it.
questioning it whether we shall do it or not. Every year we kind of ask the same question.
So we usually have about 5 or 6 people in these practicums. This last month, no one could really meet on the same day, so it was like really difficult for me to get a group together. We're supposed to have 2 more join us. Maybe the time daylight savings got tricky or whatever, so maybe they'll hop in later. But we can go ahead and get started. So hello, I'm Chelsea, and you've gotten a bazillion emails from me, so it's nice to see your faces, Joe and Nico. I am the Educational Programs Coordinator, and I actually met Dharma and Kirti, the founders, in an airport, and we just started chatting, and then they just hired me, so that was it. But so I've been working for them for 5 years, and
Meant to be.
yeah, it was cool. And now I'm living in Albuquerque, New Mexico. So that's just a little bit about me. I'm your go-to person if you ever have questions, anything like that. I'll be there. And then we have Carol, who you've seen actually in the curriculum, and she's in the physical exercise module. So she's a health and wellness nurse with over 35 years in all sorts of things. She's got her own fitness, right, at the wellness fitness business, Carol, right? So she's part of our educational advisory committee for ARPF. And she was a graduate as well the first year, and then we pulled her on board to didn't want to let her go. So
Just like you, Chelsea, and you just never know how things are going to turn out. And it's amazing. Like the universe just let us in there.
So we'll get Carol will explain how it works. It's very easy. But if you would, as part of your practicum, just in that first minute, if you just tell us where you are, what you do, just so we get a little piece of who you are, that would be great.
All right, well, let's get started. And one of the things that is real important here is to have fun, okay? Because this is the time that you get to experiment and use all that knowledge that you got from the class. So no, I mean, sometimes people get so nervous and stuff, but you know, you're gonna pass. It's gonna be a good thing. So we're going to give you 10 minutes, all right? And we do that, I'm actually going to time you. And we do that just because if you ever go somewhere to speak and people say, oh, you have a half hour or you have 15 minutes, it's important to stay in that time frame. All right. So like Chelsea said, when you're ready to go, just come on and introduce yourselves and then go right into your talk, just like we were a group that you were, you know, involved with and had an appointment to come do a presentation for. All right, does that make sense? And then we'll just spend a few minutes afterward. We have time this morning, so we can spend a few minutes just, you know, you can tell us how it went and stuff. All right, who wants to go first?
I can certainly go.
Okay, Jill, thanks. It's 50-50. It's like, all right, let me.
Right.
Yeah.
We got to do it either way, right?
Yeah. All right. All right, Jill, go ahead.
Well, very good. Well, thank you for having the forum today. This is great. As I said, my name is Jill Fries. I'm from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, so in the middle of the United States. And so I've been lucky enough to travel through my career path. So a little bit about me. Like I said, I've been working in healthcare the last 23 years. I actually received my degree in recreational therapy from the University of South Dakota as a recreational therapist for some time, and then went on to become an activity director for one of the largest long-term care facilities in the state of South Dakota, here in Sioux Falls, up to my most recent role as being a assisted living director of our enhanced assisted living and memory care unit. The interesting thing with all my changes in the long-term care and assisted living world is that almost every single one of the facilities that I've worked at has had a memory care or special care unit neighborhood building on their campus. So, you know, in Sioux Falls, we're a population of 200,000. And so to have, you know, at least 4 campuses that specifically have units focused on dementia, I think speaks volumes, the impact that our world sees with Alzheimer's and dementia today. You know, I had one building that it was more of an independent living and assisted living facility, and did not have memory care, but I did have individuals with memory loss in my building. And as I was leaving that campus, we were building a brand new memory care. So again, just seeing that impact on Alzheimer's and dementia in our society. Back in 2017, I completed my 200-hour yoga teacher training, more for personal reasons. I just wanted to have more self-growth. I then have been teaching yoga and have been utilizing, especially the breathing, the pranayama, in working with seniors with memory loss, as there's several times of anxiety, of frustration, and so I've just really been able completing the brain longevity training here in January. So I thought today that to really talk about that brain longevity course, just to kind of draw back on my knowledge of working with seniors with Alzheimer's, dementia, cognition impacts. So I have had the great pleasure of working with several individuals, experts in the field of dementia and Alzheimer's. And, you know, a lot of times we're talking about how we create that environment to give that best life to our residents that are progressing in that disease process. Some things that I've taken away and I've educated my staff on working with individuals with Alzheimer's is, as we're verbalizing to them, keep things low and slow. The more you throw things at someone with cognition loss, the more it's going to be frustrating, and you're not going to be able to accomplish those tasks. Keeping your vision or your person down to their eye level. I think we can all feel that if someone was standing over the top of us and talking to us, we would feel threatened. And our seniors do just the same. And so staying down below eye level, giving them that opportunity to speak and never argue, as we know things aren't going to turn out well if we try to correct someone with Alzheimer's. And giving that sense of life purpose. I think from any human contact, we all need that sense of purpose, and that does not leave us as people have that diagnosis of dementia. As I've grown in my facilities and in my roles, I've truly picked out right away that relationships were the best piece of this puzzle. in providing those recreational skills, we were able to find that joy, that purpose with those individuals, but also find that connect with our family members as well. A lot of times as their loved ones are facing changes, forgetting maybe who they are, asking those same questions over and over, families would come to us often and say, I don't want to visit. This is not fun for me anymore. And so, providing those times for them. I oftentimes, as I was educating staff members, that it's a very frustrating disease, not only for the person going through it, but those family members as well. And just such a huge impact. We have so many family members taking care of their loved ones, and soon it just becomes that day-to-day habit. And they get so involved in taking care of those loved ones that they themselves don't realize maybe the harm that they're creating to themselves. And it can, so I think by truly understanding the impact as a whole, not only for the person that has that diagnosis, but looking at their supports as well is huge. I was happy to see that we had some statistics to put behind. As I mentioned in the beginning, just in Sioux Falls area, we have so many opportunities for dementia care here, but looking at those statistics again of new cases of dementia being diagnosed every 4 seconds. I think in our world today, in living in pandemic times, it kind of makes it more relevant to us now to understand how quickly things go. And by saying, that new cases are being diagnosed at that rapid rate is just alarming. Being in a management role, I've of course look at costs, and to see that statistic of the cost and society of 236. As I've been educating and telling individuals, right now the cure, right now we have to meet these people in place. It was very, very exciting for me to find the brain longevity course and understand that we ourselves have something in place that we can start to be a part of that cure. So as we look at dementia, Alzheimer's, or cognitive loss in general, dementia is a widely used term, and so an umbrella term to focus on all those different cognition impacts. And right now there's over 200 forms of dementia that have been diagnosed. We have been focusing on those top 5 as we look at our seniors, those being Alzheimer's, vascular dementia, dementia with Lewy bodies, frontotemporal dementia, and mixed dementia. And I can truly say in our memory care environments, we've seen a little bit of everything. Definitely, you learn how to work differently with each one of those diagnoses as a whole, but as we're answering different questions on who we can serve in those areas, we learn more and more about those types of dementia. As we look forward, and as I mentioned, the process of the ARPF, I just think it's wonderful that they've come together, found these 4 elements for us that we can truly take into our own hands. And so with those 4 pillars being diet and supplements, stress management, exercise, both physical and mental, and that spiritual fitness, I feel that they're all very tangible items that we can all take on and educate to others. With each one, I feel that each of these categories have been impressed upon us in different lights. Especially again, I draw back on the pandemic right now, and we hear so much about exercise, and people naturally gravitate to the physical sense, but maybe not the mental exercise. I know personally when I was going through the course, I was texting family members, what do you do basis? How do you trigger your mental status every day? And I got it from, well, I follow along with it. So it's like, all right, we're doing something. Stress management, you know, I feel that there's a lot of people in this time that don't know how to navigate that. And I have seen more and more people reach out and taking yoga classes and those type of things. So that's an exciting facet right now. With diet and supplement, you know, definitely getting those right nutrients in. And, you know, I think the greater world doesn't understand how much our world has changed, and that all the foods that we do eat don't possess all the nutritional value that they once did. So finding that nice balance and getting those supplements in to make sure that that is meeting our daily needs. Fitness. You know, each person has their own means of spirituality. And
Jim,
I would just like to end
Jill,
with
Jill, time's up.
Yeah.
Time's up, Jill. Like, all right, get the hook. Great. All right. Thanks for going first too. So tell us a little bit how you're all done. It's like, whew. How did that go for you?
Good. I tried to practice yesterday and keep it under 10, and I was like at 12. So but yeah, I felt good. Yeah, I guess the other greatest impact outside of the 4 is just bringing it down to that socialization. And so that would be my next key topic, is just to, you know, reel that back together and support those causes. And just, you know, even if people would pick up one of those little traits, maybe they don't pick up all 4 at one time, but at least pick up one of those traits would bring the others in. So.
Yeah, you're making small changes, right? I think that's, you don't want to overwhelm people with things and stuff. So anything, I know you said about the time, but anything else you'd do differently if you could do it again? I might cut down on that opening and get more to the 4 pillars a little faster. Okay, yeah, good. But you did wonderful, I think, you know, and you brought it to the level that you'll probably be speaking to, right? And made it personal and stuff. I love that. That really makes a difference.
Jill, I have a question for you. Do you share Kirtan Kriya with family members?
So I actually just stepped out of the assisted living world, so I haven't presented that in that capacity. But in my my yoga training or teachings, I've actually started to add that 2 times a month. And so that has actually brought in some greater discussion with my folks. I teach at it's a clinic, and it also has different wellness classes and stuff. And so I have individuals from 18 to 90 that are participating in classes. And so I was telling them about this opportunity, and I have a couple of people that are very interested. So I'm doing it, like I said, a couple times a month, that I just give a brief description of it, and then we go into the practice.
Okay. I don't know if you and Aniko have the recording of Kirtan Kriya, but if not, I'm going to send it to you in a follow-up email as well when I send you your official certificate. So if you want to use that for you and your family, just because I know you mentioned that you were asking them about what do you do for mental exercise. So you could share that with them if you like.
Yeah.
So, awesome.
I did find the first time that I brought it to my class, I kind of modified it a little bit and did a 6-minute versus the full 12, just to give them that exposure first and foremost, and then we're growing to that full 12. So
great.
Well, good job. All right, thanks. All right, Aniko, you're up now, okay?
Yes, 10 minutes, right?
Please, yeah.
Okay, so I haven't actually practiced my my speech as Jill did, so it was gonna be like a first go. However, I chanted. I did the Kirtan Kriya. I had about 15 minutes coming to the session, so I said, okay, what can I do in 15 minutes? So let's do the Kirtan Kriya. So that was my preparation, just to be in the mood and also maybe strengthen my belief why I'm here. So I'm Aniko Pianowski. I'm Hungarian, living in France since 2014 with my family here. I'm mother of 3 grown-up children. They are 17, 18, and 19 years old. And I've been teaching yoga about 10 years now, full-time. I started teaching yoga for children first, and then I focused more after for more pregnant women and postnatal care with yoga. And then I did my first 200-hour teacher training program. And afterwards, I kind of like just started to learn and continuously learn and more. So I enrolled many other programs and finally kind of landed in one tradition, one lineage, I would say, that I kind of more focus on now for about 6 years now, quite intensively, and did my yoga therapy teacher training course as well, like 1,000 hours course. And I've been teaching yoga for, I would say, all stages of life, which I really enjoy a lot, because it's from the beginning with the children's, then accompanying also the young women, and then to prenatal and postnatal, and then also the adulthood, and then senior till the end of the life. So I really enjoy what I'm doing now in this yoga therapy and classical yoga, I would say, teaching field as a yoga teacher and yoga therapist. And here in my town, it's a small town. I'm working as a self-employed person, and I'm mainly working with senior people, either in small group facilities or small group classes, in more yoga therapy based classes, I would say, people who have different conditions from diabetes, stroke, after recovery from stroke, or any other heart conditions. And then I have some one-on-one students who I'm still working with for a few years now, about 80, 85 years old students who kind of came to yoga at very, like a few years now only. So they haven't done yoga before. So when I'm looking at the how yoga and yoga therapy actually be really a key, I think, as a complementary therapy or whatever treatment to whatever is going on in the medical field, I truly believe that there are so much things that we can do. And through the longevity training, with the 4 pillars, I think we have, in every each pillar, we have something that we can add. So either in the diet, just talking about the plant-based diet, or just talking about how much the fat it's important in our life. So that's just very small changes that just go through the teachings. And also I've used to also teach in a retirement center. It was actually my community project. It was not a paid project. I've been volunteering for 6 months. And so the retirement center here in France, if somebody is part of it, it means that she or he doesn't have any more the autonomy to live alone. And usually people are, I think maybe 80% of the center have dementia, actually, some form of dementia, maybe not the very late stage of Alzheimer's, but because usually they are kind of separated in different facility centers, but depending on how much care they need. But the rest of, unfortunately, they all do have dementia in some stage or some form. So what really this course taught me, it's first is the structure, the 4 pillars. I think that's something that it's a beautiful, logical, very logical and very simple to understand for everyone, how much it makes a difference. Now for the diet and the stress management, I think at least the stress management, definitely everyone is now believing that yoga actually can help in deep relaxation and how to cope with stressful situations. So either through mental exercises, physical exercises, visualization, meditation, or breathing exercises. So we have many tools that we could use. About the definitely physical, mental exercise, definitely yoga is there to provide so many different ways of moving the body and getting the mind focused and be present and mindful. And for the fourth pillar, which is the spiritual fitness, that is something I think that maybe it's more, I would say, sensitive, at least in my country, to bring in. So I have to be very careful what words I'm using. Not too much using religion or spirituality, but more about meaning of life, joy, what brings joy to you, what is the purpose of life, how can I be more, how can I contribute still to my society, but part of belonging to a community. So these kind of, I would say, words and communication could help definitely to bring in this pillar as well. Now for, in my case, in my teachings, definitely I haven't really tried and implemented the Kirtan Kriya so far, because we are still in lockdown, and I can't have any group classes yet, started yet. And the senior students, they don't want to go to online sessions so far. So that's an obstacle, I would say, but hopefully with the vaccinations, this obstacle will be removed. Then, so what it helps me, since I've been learning yoga and yoga therapy for many, many years, and also practicing it. So when I'm enrolling in a new training, right, it's always a question, how can I internalize, how can I make space to the new knowledge and be comfortable with it and open up. So, so for me, I have the faith definitely in the diet change, in the physical, mental exercise, and the different ways how we can bring some kind of spirituality, some kind of even mental exercise and meditation through sounds. Now the sounds, the bija mantras can be different ones. So for me, when I used to work in retirement center, and when I had a small group of people who had about like 5 minutes span of attentions, because otherwise they just kind of like dozed afterwards. So I have to be kind of like found some ways how to engage them for 5 minutes. That was actually about the time that they could kind of engage with me. And so using sound definitely was something that it was very helpful. So even though maybe not the satanama, but the om, or the breaking down the om in different sounds, was definitely very helpful. And how we engaging with, we call it actually in my tradition, the nyasam, when we are bringing the fingers together in different forms. So these techniques were not new for me, but definitely that's the Kirtan Kriya, which is more like a, I think, easy for everyone, available for everyone, could be a wonderful add-on to my teachings, and also in a larger group as well. Because usually in yoga therapy, we are working more in a small group and also on one-on-one to be more holistic and to approach more holistically the person. And now what I found that this 12 minutes, I would say protocol, I don't really like this word, but still, I think it's easy to explain to the directors, to caregivers, when I'm I'm explaining about my scope of work and my scope of intervention, what I'm going to do with the patient, because definitely there is always a trust as well as a yoga therapist. What can I bring to the facilities? So I'm really convinced that that's a tool that definitely could help. And I'm really eager and interested to find out what will be in the research. Yes. So what will be the impact? Thank you for listening.
All right, thanks. Oh, you made it. Woohoo! Tell us a little bit. How did that go?
I think I have to look at the recording.
No, you
But let me
don't.
just talk about the feeling, the sensations.
You were great. Yeah, no, both of you. That's good. Good. Any comments from anybody?
Yeah, I would just say I'm hoping that, I don't know how it is in France, but here at least our senior centers or nursing homes, they've been really pro virtual events because their seniors need something. So I'm hoping that changes for you, because they might not like it, but if that's all they've got, or, you know, it's something. So
Yeah.
hopefully that can change. They just need somebody within that home to get it rolling, you know? So.
Yeah, that's true. I truly believe as well that, but I mean, now in the strategy that they took, I mean, the country took is more the vaccination. And with the vaccination, like now, I think 85% of people in retirement centers are vaccinated. So we are hoping that that's gonna lose up all our interventions, and possibility opens up.
Yeah, good. Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, definitely. All right, thanks. Yeah, nice to hear from everybody. All right, and then it looks like we have, is it Cressy?
Welcome. I don't know, so I'm going to ask Cressy to unmute and to turn on video. Cressy, are you with us? Oh, here she comes. All right. You're still muted though.
Sorry about
there we
that.
go.
Yeah, we're at 9,000 feet, and we had snow last night. So yeah, it's internet's a challenge. I'm sure that there is a delay. So if I am not speaking, I'll turn my video off so I don't bog everything down.
Okay, so
Wow.
we've taken turns doing our 10-minute presentations. So you're up next. So if you can just,
Okay.
at the beginning, just introduce yourself, and then go right into your talk. I'm timing people just to, because you know, if you're invited to speak somewhere, sometimes you're only given a certain amount of time. So just learning to condense what you need to say into that time frame. Okay, so go ahead and start by introducing yourself, and then right into your
so
talk.
I am okay. So I'm Cressy Johnson. I'm sorry. Okay, sorry about the delay. I mean, like I said, it's being in the mountains. So my name is Cressy Johnson. I am a retired critical care paramedic, and I currently run, own and operate Durango Reflexology, and also Simple Life Yoga. And I'm a 500-hour yoga instructor. So this program was right up my alley. It's definitely things that I've already looked at and seen before, and I like the way that it is packaged into the 4 pillars. I think that makes it very easy to assimilate for people. There's steps, it's reproducible. And then there's a lot of research, which was very surprising to me because I had not seen any of it before the program. So that being said, I feel like there is a lot of need for this research to be out into the world. I don't understand why it hasn't been more prominent before now. I do have I have 2 family members that are elderly, that have had strokes, that have dementia, that I am a primary caregiver for as well. And so it's kind of near and dear to my heart, like how to understand the process and what I can be doing to do things different for them or to help them in their process. So that's kind of my background on it. As far as the training, it's been very easy for me to assimilate into my practice. I have a lot of people that come in for chronic pain, for anxiety, for digestive problems that can't be fixed by Western medicine, or so they're told, that pretty much they just have to take their pills and deal with it. And so I get people that are really at the end of their rope. They're done. They're done dealing with all the pills and the tests and everything else, and they don't feel well. They have a brain fog. So it's been easy for me to kind of implement some of these principles. I have started several clients on the Curtin Kriya practice, and that has been tremendous. Every single person that I have taught it to, they've gone home when they're stressed out, they do it and they feel better. And then they start teaching their family and their friends, and it just escalates from there. And I have people that say that they're sitting in traffic, and when they're getting irritated, they start doing it, just out of, I guess, practice. And so then they calm themselves by that. So it has other applications to than just the 12-minute protocol. And so that has been very beneficial. And we've seen like really great results with that. A lot of reduction in anxiety, a lot of clearing of the brain fog. The brain fog I've found has cleared better with dietary changes. Here in the United States, we have, and especially my previous profession, heavy lifting, you're lifting patients, you're running up and down stairs, where we were mostly low carb. And, everybody get rid of the refined sugars, and they took it to the limit and said, okay, now you're getting rid of refined sugars, excuse me, but you're also going to get rid of all of the natural sugars, and you're going to get rid of all of the natural grains that have the enzymes that support our digestive system and support our brain health. And so people are eating these, high carb or low carb, high fat, high meat protein diets. Excuse me, sorry, I have a ferret and he's causing mayhem. So you have all of these things and that are contributing to the poor diet, and these people are not they're not taught that we need all of these nutrients from the other food groups that you're releasing. They're just focusing on weight loss, and just they think that is the way to longevity, is to just have the meat and the dairy. And a lot of people don't realize that they have dairy problems either, so they're eating these low carb diets, and they're intaking all this dairy, and it's causing all this inflammation. And if they're not doing organic, they're getting all of the chemicals and all of the hormones and everything. So with the diet, that has also been easy to implement, the more plant-based Mediterranean style diet that's easier for people to follow. And so we've had really great results with that. And as far as spiritual practices, we are severely lacking in that as a society, I think. I mean, we have organized religion, but I think that people shy away from spiritual practices just because they don't think it helps, or they think it might be, we're all on a time schedule. They think it might be a waste of time or anything like that. And so they just don't do it, or they don't believe in it. They don't believe that it helps. And it takes generally a life-changing event to change that kind of mindset that turns people to a different route of, okay, well, there's something that's not being addressed here that needs to be. So that one's the harder one for me to help people with. That is something that they have to be ready for it, and they have to come to me for that. And so, I can suggest it. I can ask questions about it. I can say, I'm not talking religion, I'm talking spirituality. How do you feel about the world? What's your place in the world? So I start asking those kinds of coaching questions, and, and sometimes people do have a little breakthrough where they're going, okay, well, yeah, obviously that's something that I've neglected and I probably need to take a little bit of time with. So that's one of the hardest parts of the third pillar for me, as far as the spirituality. And then the physical exercise, that goes back to the low carb, high fat, high lifestyle, the CrossFits. I get a lot of CrossFit injuries in my clinic. So people are doing the CrossFit, they're doing this heavy lifting, it's all or nothing. And I have so many people that come to me that are like, I can't do these exercises. I want to lose weight, but I can't do these exercises. And that's where the yoga comes in. And I say, okay, we can do some gentle weight bearing exercises that are tailored just to you, that you don't have to go. I do private yoga sessions because a lot of my clients don't want to go to a standard yoga class, and the I guess the spiritual aspects of yoga kind of freak them out, and they don't like the breathing, like the pranayama. So it's new. It's kind of a foreign thing, so that you kind of have to ease them into it. So by doing these private sessions, I'm able to get them used to all of the concepts. And then generally, once they start with their program and their regimen, and they start doing their exercises, then they want to know more. Excuse me. And so they would like to know more, and then I teach them more. And so then they usually end up going to classes or going on to become a yoga instructor, because it changes their life. So there's a lot of aspects to it. I am active in the community with the senior groups. There's a lot of senior clubs that I show up and I'm active in, and I've taught all of them the Curtin Kriya. We are still meeting outside, even though it's cold. And we have not gotten to indoor meetings yet. We do some Zoom meetings, but a lot of our elderly members in the community, they have a hard time with the Zoom and the video. So that's something that we're working on, but we're still doing outreach, and we're still trying to do outdoor events on nice days, and so that they can still get their community interaction. Most of the people in our community are elderly people anyway, have received the vaccine. So that makes it infinitely easier for us to be able to access them and to help them with their needs. So that's pretty much my take on it. I plan on doing some workshops in the future here in Durango, and yeah, actually using the program and teaching people about this program, because I hadn't heard of it before I saw it on Yoga Alliance, and I really feel like this is something that everybody should know. And I really feel like it hasn't gotten the attention that it needs. So that's kind of my goal with the process here. And I think I'm right about at 10 minutes.
All right. So how'd that go? How did you feel?
I feel pretty good about it. I mean, I kind of have a different take. I think everybody has their own take on everything. And
Sure.
and I'm so used to just doing like Zoom meetings, so I'm not exactly as formal as I probably should be. And that's how I kind of am in my clinic, is once I get to know my clients, they come in and they just, like, I guess, fall apart and let me pick up the pieces, and we figure out what's best for them. So that's just kind of my personality, but I feel like it went pretty well.
Anything you do different next time?
Next time I would, it's kind of short notice, so I'm not at my office. Next time I would be at my office, and I wouldn't have the distraction of the ferret tearing the room up while I'm trying to do my meeting. So
that's okay. Yeah,
I do apologize for that.
It's been such a challenge with COVID and animals and stuff, but it's fun. It's good. And yeah, I don't think, I think people understand that. What else? Anybody?
Remember,
ahead,
Carol,
Chelsea.
we had a practicum last month, I think, and I was on my couch because I just had ankle surgery, so I had to keep my foot lifted. And then I have a puppy, and she just like ran in and charged my face. So right during someone's presentation, I couldn't get her off of me. So that was a funny recording. But yeah, I think you all did really well. I'm gonna follow up with an email. I'm gonna get you guys the Kirtan Kriya recording. If you need the YA hours, let me know, and we'll get that set up, and then I'll get you your official certificate. Otherwise, you did it,
We need like confetti to come down now.
If you go to arpf.com, you can access your membership. We have all the resources in there, past webinars you guys can check out. And I don't know if any of you have joined this week. We started our meditation challenge. I don't know if you guys know about that. So every day at 12 our time, Cressy, because I'm in Albuquerque. So it's 2 p.m. ET. We do a meditation challenge with Kirtan Kriya, and we've had like 100 people show up every day. So it's been really cool. And it's free, and yeah, it's awesome. And it's so great because most of them are seniors. So it's really cool seeing them. So anyways, congratulations. I will follow up with an email. If you have any questions, come to me. Carol?
That's it. Just congratulations, everybody. You know, you did a great job, and it was a pleasure meeting everybody. So nice, isn't it, to see faces hooked up with me?
Great. So we're all done here, and you can go ahead and exit the meeting. I'm going to keep it up just in case we have our German come in, so I'll be here for her. Okay, guys. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Presentation,
Awesome.
and because I'm not so fit in English, I wrote something for me.
Oh, you sound great. Where in Germany are you?
Yes, I'm living in Germany, in the middle of Germany, in a university city. It's called Göttingen. And maybe you know Atma Jotkau, a
Say that again, please.
therapist.
Uh-huh.
She is also living here in near by here.
Cool.
Yes, yes, and here in Göttingen there are many Kundalini yogis. There's a Kundalini yoga school and several practitioners and teachers, and yes, and I'm also teaching Kundalini yoga. And because I have mostly normal is women come, and the women which come to my courses are between 40 and 90, and therefore it's I think this topic we have in this BLTT course is also is present, and I want to use the knowledge of the course for my groups, and especially for the woman. Yes, and today I wanted to talk about the risk factors, especially risk factors which do you hear me? One moment, it's okay? Good. Okay, and I thought I would explain some of these risk factors using my mother's life, because my mother also died with dementia. She was 78 when she died, and we as family members, we could see overt symptoms 6 years before she died. So these symptoms meant to be changes of personality. She got very special behaviors and had a lot of restlessness. So, and yes, I remember one scene in our kitchen, which was really shocking for me. My mother made the whole life potato salad, very excellent and very delicious. And from one day to the other, it was no longer edible. It was for me unrecognizable. It was horrible. Yes, from one day to the other. So, and her symptoms got really very quickly worse. So that in the last 2 years, we put her into a special nursing home. Because my 4 siblings and my father, simply couldn't manage to take care of her anymore. She was day and night alive and walking around and restless, and it was very stressful for us, maybe more for us than for her. And I wondered often why she developed dementia. Yes, she was in that age to get dementia. In her case, the first obvious signs of failure appeared about age 72, and that fits to the risk statistics. So, but and because most people with Alzheimer's have a late onset form, and symptoms begin to appear in the mid of the 60s. I learned in the VLTT, and as is known, the risk doubles every 5 years after age 65. However, my mother had no genetic history from her family that would have increased her risk for the disease. She also didn't smoke, she didn't drink alcohol, she moved around a lot, and she was on her feet all day. And therefore, I wondered really, why does this woman get Alzheimer's? Also, we lived on a farm, had our own vegetables. My mother was born in 1923, so there was no junk food. We lived in a small village. Everyone knew everyone. She was involved. She went to church. She prayed. These are all factors I thought that could have actually had a positive effect on her brain health, I thought. Looking back on her life, I nevertheless did notice some relevant risk factors that applied to her. Even in the connection of this course, they seem to be appearing in my mind. One major factor could be her experiences from her younger years. There were some traumatic experiences. I said already she was born in 1923, which was a very difficult time in the world, especially in Europe. We had the effects of the First World War. We had a Great Depression, and both were certainly challenging for people at that time, I think so. And then the Second World War came, and in 1940, my mother was 70 years. At that time, she had a heavy burden to carry, as most of the women, because the men went into the war, and her father, and her three brothers were drafted into the military, and the woman had to manage everyday life and farming on their own. And that's not enough. During this time, a stable burned down, which the woman had to rebuild alone. Another shocking experience. My mother received a violent blow on the head, on her face, from a horse, and that kicked out this horse. And you could see this later on because her face was somewhat dented on one side. And also those facts, and also both brothers didn't come back from the Russian campaign. They were never found, and my mother suffered a lot from this. So as we know, this multiple stress leads to an increased risk of AD in women, and statistics says 2 out of 3 dementia patients are women. And it's also discussed that traumatic experiences and also traumatic brain injuries, maybe this horse knocking, can change brain chemistry and affect normal brain function. And this could influence the development of plaque and tangles, and possibly increasing the risk for AD. This might be some risk also being for my mother. And this multiple exposure to burdens from youth continued in my mother's life in the subsequent years. My mother got married, had 5 children. One, I'm me, I'm in the middle, and the 5 children came pretty close together. She was responsible for the kids, for the household, for the work on the farm, for the garden, and later on also she took care for her in-lays, also for my grandparents, also for many years. So, and my grandmother had some kind of psychotic illness, and it was very stressful to care about her. And as I said, she always was on her feet all day and didn't really have any time for herself. And even during her pregnancy and right after the birth of her children, she seamlessly had to continue her work. She didn't have any rest. So, and what increases the burden, and what I'm sorry to say, my father took it all quite for granted and didn't treat her very delicately either. It was normal in this time, I think so. And often enough, he bad-mouthed her work and women in general, which certainly made her suffer physically and psychologically. I think so. She had a big burden, and she received little support, recognition, and appreciation. Everything was taken for granted. Maybe that's why she often had headaches and seemed tired and depressed. And she also had trouble sleeping. And as we know now, these are all risk factors for AD. For me, it seemed to be that her living with dementia was the first stage in her life where she could experience care herself. So if looking at my mother's life reveals the following relevant risk factors that especially increasing women's risk of developing AD, and they are, I would like to summarize them once more. The first one, extreme multiple burdens of caregiving, caring, working for many years, which is true for many women. The second, psychological violence and discrimination as a woman and a form of non-esteem. The third one, this is accompanied by high chronic stress levels without appropriate stress management. And this is known today. Chronic stress has many negative consequences, such as silent inflammation, high blood pressure, heart disease problems, diabetes, depression, and also stress generally accelerates aging and damages the brain. And as you know, stress leads also to excessive release of cortisol, which damages once more cells in the hippocampus and in special areas of the brain, which normally could stop the production of cortisol. And thus, chronic stress accelerates the aging and the brain body, the aging of brain and body. And the fourth point I wanted to mention is lack of psychological well-being, which includes self-worth and also self-acceptance, self-confidence, independence, and things like that. And this is also a big problem in today's generation due to digital media, I think so, especially under young women who get their confirmation through the likes on the net. And therefore, I think it's also very problematic today. And the last one, the sleep disorders, which also, my mother had also sleep disorders, too little sleep, too bad sleep. And as we know today, sleep has far-reaching effects on our health. Studies show that and show clear links between AD and lack of sleep. So especially for women in the menopause, the issue of sleep becomes a double problem, because in the menopause, sleep disorders rise or appear often, and little sleep means less brain power, and the declining level of estrogen is associated with menopause and increases neurodegenerative processes and lead to symptoms of cognitive decline. So in elderly women, it's the problem doubles, and it becomes more present. So these are some points I carried together, and as you can see from this example of my mother, there are many risk factors for women that work against optimal brain health. So, and the circumstances of life today are different, but the risks of developing dementia are still diverse, especially for us women. This makes it all the more important to take preventive measures and at an early stage, and to ensure holistic well-being. And as we know, we women are the professional for this. We know what caring means and have it in our hands to establish self-care in our lives. So I would like to encourage all of us to do this, and I would like to encourage my women in my courses to establish self-care in their normal day. Yes, that's my presentation, and thank you for your attention.
Absolutely. That was a very powerful story. Your mother is one tough woman.
Yes,
yes. Could you imagine if she didn't have access to healthy foods? Like, just, today, we all know that stress is, at the heart of all of it. But like you said, she was physically fit, she was active, she ate good food, so it didn't make sense. But then, you said she lived to 78, is that right?
Once more, please.
You said she lived till 78?
She died with 78.
Yeah, I'm impressed that with all of that, she was able to live that long. Because
yes, it was normal for these women in this generation. I think so. They didn't. It was their Aufgabe, their work. They didn't. They hadn't this sign this word for stress. It was normal to have work and to do it and to be alive for her husbands and for the children. Yeah. They had the choice, I think so.
Wow, it's incredible. Well, you did great. If we can talk some more, you passed, of course. I don't know, yes. Do you do Kirtan Kriya? Do you do the meditation?
Yes, I know. Okay. I know this Kirtan Kriya, and I do it sometimes, not so often, because now I'm 60, and I thought, okay, I also have to prevent something and to do a little bit more, especially for my brain, because when I read all the papers I printed out from this VLTT, I recognized, oh, you've forgotten so much. You've forgotten so much.
It's a lot of information, yeah.
Yes.
So, well, I don't know if you have the recording, but I'll send it to you so you can download it. Unless you have it, do you have it?
Yes, I downloaded it.
Oh, okay,
it's
perfect.
Okay. And also the exercises for the yoga, stuff. Yes, great. And because I'm doing everyday yoga, so I'm working a little bit already against AD.
Yeah, perfect.
Mm.
Oh, that's awesome.
But
Well,
it's not
I w-
normal. So what for me it was very new, this side to say you have to start prevention in early life, because it's not coming because you get your age is 60 now or 65. It's starting early before, and therefore this for me is a motivation to tell this to other persons, and to also to tell them that it's no there's no coming out from this AD.
yeah. Well, I'm glad to hear that you're taking all the right steps. Yeah, that's great. And I don't know if you know, it's probably too late your time. Maybe not. We're doing a week-long meditation every day at 2 p.m. ET. So that's in oh, is it like in an hour? 2 hours? It's in 2 hours.
Mhm.
But
Every Sunday or every day?
we're doing it every day this week. We started on Wednesday, and we're doing Kirtan Kriya, and we are doing it through Zoom, or you can join on our Facebook page. And we've had like 100 people show up, and we're all just
Okay.
doing it. Yeah.
Oh,
I'll
I'd
send
like
you.
to. I didn't get it. I like to join. It's very fine.
Great. Cool. I'll send you that with your official certificate in a follow-up email.
Okay, it's nice. Thanks.
Absolutely.
How many persons did finish this course now in this in this month?
In this month, it's only a handful every month, but I would say I'd say we have like 50 graduates from online. We have more from the in-person training that we've done over the years.
Yes, I normally would also prefer, but so
Me too.
it's very comfortable for doing this course from Europe.
Yeah.
On this Zoom.
Yeah.
Was it-
Well, I'm glad it all worked out in the end. It hasn't been easy, but we're getting everybody together, and
Mhm.
and we meet once a month too, and we do chantings, and we're changing the time every month. So because I know it's too late for you guys, so
Mhm.
because we have people on the Pacific coast, so for them to teach a class, it has to be pretty early, pretty late in their time. So next month we're gonna have a class, and I'll send you all the information, but if you can
Okay.
make it, that'd be great.
Mhm. It's great. Thank you.
You're welcome. Well, thanks for meeting me. Sorry about the time change. I didn't realize.
Mhm.
But all
What
right.
were other trainees from Europe, from Germany?
We've had a couple from Germany, a couple from France, Italy. We have some from Australia. Maybe a couple from England as well.
Ah, yeah, okay.
Oh,
And
in Belgium.
could I connect them through your website?
Can you
Are
connect
they-
with them?
Mhm.
Yeah. So are you in our Facebook group?
No, I don't know. I'm not in Facebook.
Okay. You're not on Facebook at all?
Yeah, no, not at
Okay.
all.
Okay. That's fine. I'm just thinking about easy ways to connect with them. I can go through my list and find everybody in Europe, and then I can let you know, and I can introduce you guys.
Ah, yeah, okay, that would be fine. Would be
Yeah,
fine.
let me write that down. Cool.
You are
All
working very much, I think so, because your mails are coming very often and very frequently. And
Yeah.
For me, it seems you're working all the day for this RPF.
7 days a week. Great. Well, all right, Elizabeth, thank you for this. I will send you everything you need to know in an email, and I'll talk to
Thank
you
you.
soon.
Okay.
All right, thanks very much.
Thank
Okay,
you very
bye-bye.
much.